Welcome to Compassion Speaks, where we give a voice to the nonprofits in the community. I'm your host, Stephanie Player, and with us today we have David Montez, a healthy relationship and family relationship educator, and Christina Verdugo, a healthy relationship educator. Both are with Arizona Youth Partnership. So thank you guys so much for joining us. Welcome today.
Thank you for having us.
And I just kind of want to jump right into it because I've learned a little bit about your program over the last few months. I'm so thrilled to hear about this being present up here in our community. So let's just jump right in and talk about what is Arizona Youth Partnership.
So Arizona Youth Partnership actually got started in 1990 in Pima County. We soon expanded in 2004 to Apache County and other counties in Arizona, so we had to change our name. So we switched it to Arizona Youth Partnership. We are actually currently in 9 counties with 10 different programs going on, and about 6 or 7 coalitions that we do. And so what we do here in Apache and Navajo County is a healthy relationship classes. We started that in 2004, and we are currently in 11 schools for the healthy relationship classes. And so that's from 6th through 12th grade. And we use Choosing the Best curriculum. And we have one for 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th, and then 12th grade. And it's a 8-day program that we go into the schools and implement. And basically what it is, it's an abstinence-only program that we teach. And we do talk about goals, decision-making, refusal skills. We also talk about, STDs, sexually transmitted diseases, teen pregnancy, and the emotional consequences that come when you are sexually active. I think it's important for the kids to know the facts, So we're just basically there to give them the facts and the tools that they need to make healthy decisions.
That's awesome. And I love that you guys hit on so many different age groups involved, because younger and younger kids are experimenting with relationships and really testing those waters, and to be able to reach them at those turning point ages where they are starting to develop these relationships in their lives and explore. It's really important to get them those tools to be able to make those good decisions, which is what you're about.
Yeah, and each grade level gets a little more into the different subjects. So 6th grade, it's really talking about friendship, good friend, bad friend, healthy relationships, unhealthy relationships. We talk a little bit about sexual abuse, so they'll know what that is. If anything were to happen to them, who they can go to for help. We talk about refusal skills with them. And that's pretty much it with 6th grade. 7th and 8th, it gets a little more into, if they are sexually active, what can happen, and just basically giving them the facts so they'll know, what can happen if they are involved in that.
That's wonderful.
And letting them make their own decision. So.
Right. Well, you're arming them with tools and knowledge that they may not get anywhere else. They may not get it at home. Yeah. They're probably not getting it from media and TV.
That's another thing we touch on is the media.
And how
it influences them.
Yeah. And a lot of times they, it's so subtle. They don't process it that way. They just absorb, So very good. I'm so glad that there's something up here in this community that's teaching these different principles for our kids, so that way they can ultimately, make the best decisions that they can with all the information involved.
And letting them make that decision on their own.
Right.
Especially when you get into 9th grade. We do have a curriculum for 12th graders, and it's called Choosing the Best Soulmate, which is an awesome program. We currently go to Show Low, Blue Ridge, and Snowflake and teach the 12th grade curriculum. And they're always wanting us, can you come back for 1 or 2 more days, just to kind of, because they're really finding out who they are and how difficult a relationship can be if you're not communicating in that relationship. Right. So that's another one that we have. So
that's awesome. So you have things that are geared obviously towards teens, preteens with healthy relationships, but you also do family
Yes, we do.
education
Yes.
as well. So how does that portion of your program work?
Well, we've had a program called Strengthening Families in Apache County for about 2 years, and we've just recently started here in Navajo County, and we're actually hosting it at the White Mountain Youth Center. And so basically our program is using a curriculum called Strengthening Families 10 to 14. And so basically it's a two-hour event for 8 weeks where parents come with their youths and they learn to do interactive activities with each other, where they get to learn about each other. Our first hour they do separately and they do their own activities, and then they come together for the second session and they do activities as a family. We get a lot of families who have really good relationship with their kids, but are always amazed with how much they get to learn from their kids while doing these activities. It really is meant to be a fun time for the kids and a good time for parents to just spend time with their children in a structured environment. We also provide a family dinner because sometimes we do host our events in the evening. So this way they can kind of not have to worry about cooking a meal and just come to our event and just do that. And we cook very good food. I think we've had a really good menu so
Yeah.
far. And so parents won't be disappointed. The kids are never disappointed.
Especially with dessert.
Yes, desserts. So it really is meant to be a good experience for the family. And we currently have a session going now, but we're going to have one starting September 21st here in Show Low again.
Oh, wonderful. Well, and that's such an important aspect too, because it's really helping to not only help the kids out, but you're helping out the parents in ultimately communicating together as a family, and maybe different ways that they hadn't thought of. You know,
Yes.
especially if it's their first teenager. You know, you learn those things as you go, but it's good to have somebody to help you to guide you through that process, and that's essentially what you guys are trying to do here with these families, is really provide that just that means of communication and opening those doors up to allow for that better relationship there within the family unit itself.
Yeah. And I think it all goes together. Our healthy relationship classes also, we do parent interviews at the end of each session. So the kids will take home whatever subject we're talking about, they take home a parent interview and they have to ask their parents certain questions. If we're talking about goals, you know, they ask their parents, so what were your goals when you were my age?
Oh,
and just to open
wow.
up that communication between the parents. Because it does, if you're not used to talking to your
Exactly.
youth, it's going to be hard to talk to them about certain subjects.
Yeah.
And so that's really what those parent interviews are for, just to kind of open up the lines of communication
That's
between
really-
the parent and child.
And
So-
sometimes the
awesome.
kids do get embarrassed and don't want to talk about those issues. So we tell the kids, just give it to your parent and have them fill it out and give it back to you. Because the kids are still reading the answers and they still get to know what their parents are thinking,
Yeah.
even if they don't have that one-on-one conversation.
Right, and it can open that door too
Exactly.
for it to
Yeah.
ultimately lead to that, you know,
Yeah.
conversation
Yeah.
that will happen.
It's very
So,
important communication in
Yeah.
any relationship, not just between parents and their child, you know.
In any
Friendships,
way.
any relationship, communication is important. So
and sometimes we lose sight of that. I think it's a challenge, and so sometimes it's not present in all
Yeah.
relationships,
Yeah.
and you may not identify that as being the issue, the trigger of everything
Yeah.
else. But so you guys have the summer program that you've been running. It's coming back again in September for the family education. Now, what else do you guys have upcoming? What can we look forward to? How can people get involved?
well, we actually have, we're going to be hosting a kind of a back to school night at Blue Ridge Middle School, August 11th and 13th from 2:30 to 4. And it's anybody can come from, you know, if they're in 6th through 8th grade. And we're just going to do some fun activities with the kids. We'll provide food for them because they're going to be starving after school. But we'll be using the weight training curriculum. And it's not like lifting weights, it's WAIT, again, going along with our abstinence only program. But we will be talking about anti-bullying because I think that's something that a lot of people have been asking for. And so we do have a segment that we will be doing for that, anti-bullying. We'll also be talking about alcohol and drugs, tobacco, how it can be harmful to you as a youth or any time. And then we'll be talking a little bit about their personalities, you know, them getting to know who they are. So it'll be a really fun thing.
Oh, that's awesome. So that's just coming up here in August.
Yes.
And it sounds exciting. Again, 6th through 8th. And I'm assuming, you know, this is something that you'll be sending out heavily
Yes.
as soon
Definitely.
as school starts to
Yes.
let the parents know.
And we have lots of cool giveaways to give to the
Really great
youth,
giveaways.
and so it'll be a lot of fun. Kind of a back to school, you know. I know it's early for some of the kids going back to school. They wish they had a longer summer, but so.
Right, of course they do, and as they delve into things, and I'm glad you guys are touching on the bullying aspect too, because that is something that, of course, a lot of schools are moving towards no tolerance policies of that, but there's still kind of this, I guess this line where people don't really know if it's bullying or, you know,
Exactly.
so being able to identify what is bullying behavior and how can you identify it and help somebody who's being treated that way,
Yes.
but also how can you maybe identify it within yourself if you're doing it.
If you're doing it, because a lot of times I don't think they recognize the hurt that they're doing to others when they are bullying.
And that's another
So-
great part of our Strengthening Families program, as it also deals with heavily with refusal skills and how to say no to your friends. And we try to emphasize in both our programs that it's usually hardest to say no to your friends, and it is to people that you really don't know, because that's when the peer pressure really comes in. And so the Strengthening Family program really allows kids to develop techniques to be able to say no and still be able to communicate with their parents what's going on at school.
That's awesome, and that's so important. You know, that I know a lot of kids deal with that, whether personally being affected by it or witnessing somebody else that they care about being affected by it. So it's important to arm them with that information, so that way they know, how do I handle this? You know, how do I make sure that this doesn't happen again? So, is there anything else that you guys would like to throw in there as we wrap things up?
Well, I mean, we also want to introduce our newest member of our team, Becky Rokel. She just joined us this first week, so she's part of our team. So you'll see her out there in the schools and SFP as well. So she's part of our team.
Wonderful.
We do have a website,
Yes.
so it's azyp.org.
Wonderful.
So
So
they
people
can-
can go and check that out.
All our
Yes.
different
get more
programs we have.
information.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, thank you guys so much for coming to join us today. I'm so excited to hear all the different things that you guys are getting involved in out in the community with the kids. It's really important. Thank you.
Well, thank you
Thank
for having
you.
us.
Thank you guys, and stay tuned. We'll be right back with the Humane Society. Welcome back to Compassion Speaks. Joining us now, we have Dina Pace, the director for the Humane Society of the White Mountains, and Karen Frayling. She's the public relations representative on the board of directors. Thank you guys so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
I'm so excited. Every year we have you guys on so we can talk about your biggest event of the year,
Yes.
which is the Happy Tales Auction and Barbecue coming up in August.
It is.
So tell us about it. What is the Happy Tales Auction?
Happy Tales, like you said, is our biggest fundraiser of the year. And this has gotten so big and so many people come. It's more like a big event. But what it does is we have the barbecue, we have the silent auction, the live auction, blitz auctions, raffles. It's an awesome time. And it is August 29th from 11 to 5 at Charlie Clark's in the Orchards.
Beautiful, beautiful venue.
It is. And then we also have adoptable dogs with us.
Oh, wonderful.
People go, why did you bring cats? Well, when cats pant when they're outside, that's not a good thing. It's usually too hot to have the cats there.
Yeah,
So if
that's
it's
understandable.
weather permittable, we will. I don't think that's a word.
Weather permitting.
Weather permitting, thank you. We will have the cats with us also.
Awesome, wonderful. So, and you guys actually had some adoptions last year as a result of this. Didn't people adopt right there at the event?
We had 13
Yes.
dog adoptions
Oh, yeah.
last year.
Amazing. And
It
that's the
is.
whole purpose. You know, you want to find these forever homes for the animals that you
Right.
guys are caring for. But not only that, and thank goodness for those adoptions happening then,
Yeah.
but it's an awareness too, you know, to raise money to help to support the animals that are in shelter until they find those forever homes.
Yes, and everything that's at this auction for us is donated. So if you have a business, if we haven't been by yet and you have something you want to donate, please call us either at the Humane Society or over to High Five. We have volunteers out collecting things all the time. So everything's donated. So 100% of everything made that day comes right back to support the homeless animals.
And that's what's so important,
Yeah.
that a lot of people don't know if, you know, where does this money go? Is it
Right.
going to the Humane Society in general, or is this helping us locally? What is the answer to that question?
I get that asked quite a bit. And what we have to tell people is that we are a nonprofit. So every bit of fundraising that we do, every donation, every grant that we can get keeps us going. It doesn't go anywhere but here on the mountain, straight to the animals. And it doesn't go to Phoenix. A lot of people think when they see Humane Society, you know, in Phoenix and do this and do that, we don't get any of that. We have to fund everything ourselves. So it's so important. And what's really great though is that so many people now in the community have come on board with us. So
Yes.
many businesses, and we can never stop doing that because we're so grateful. That's what keeps us going.
You know, we're so lucky to have the community that we
I
do,
think so.
because they're so supportive. They want to get involved. They want to help with all the different nonprofits and agencies that make such a big impact in our community. And they recognize that. They
Yes.
know that it takes their support to keep those doors open. So I tell that to everybody, is we are so lucky with the community that we have.
We really are, and I know that we're grateful every day.
Yeah.
Every day. And a lot of people say, how do you do it? And I for one, I'm very honest. I'm like, it's difficult. It is a difficult job. It's heartwarming and heartbreaking at the same time.
Yeah.
But when that one animal goes to a home, you get tears in your eyes because you know that animal's going to be loved by a family that night. And it's what makes it so worthwhile.
Absolutely,
does.
absolutely. Well, and it's such an important mission up here on the mountain to support, because you guys have that constant need. You're constantly taking in more animals, and I hear that you might be expanding a little bit. Can you tell us a little bit about
We are
that?
expanding. We're really excited because 2 years ago, we had a building fund going on so that we could add on to our shelter. We have now, as of just last night, the board approved a contractor.
Wonderful.
And we will be starting that probably within the next couple of weeks. We're going to build a new building, and that building is going to have what we're going to call our adoption meet and greet room. We're going to have our receptionist there, and we're going to have an office for the manager there. A lot of people come and they cannot bring themselves to go in and look at our animals in kennels.
Yeah.
You know, to them it's very sad. And I get that, because before I was part of this, it was very sad. And so now people can come in, they will tell us who they're looking for if that's what they want to do, and we'll bring the animal over to the adoption room for them to see them there. And they don't have to see all the other sad faces, because we always have lots of sad faces,
Yeah.
you know.
That's the nature
So
of the
it is.
business.
It
yeah.
absolutely is. And so we're really, really excited about this. And then we're going to start collecting, once we're through with this, for another building for more animals. You know, we are the only Humane Society with a shelter in Apache or Navajo County. So we service this whole White Mountain area. It's a lot of animals, you
Yes.
know, and it's a lot of demand on us to be able to supply a place for them. You know, there's other places here, you know, but we're all very small in comparison to all the homeless animals out there.
Oh.
You know, that's just the sad thing. It'd be great if we got out of business someday, but
We would love to be out
That's
of
the
business.
goal.
yeah.
Yeah,
And the other big thing we've just done recently is we've bought our own doghouse thrift shop. So we've moved.
Brand new location.
It's beautiful.
It is.
Oh, I was in there. You guys hosted one of the Chamber Business
did.
After Hours events, and I was just floored when I walked in. It's so huge, and you guys have so many different areas, so much space.
Yes.
It's amazing. So tell us, where is this new location if people haven't found it yet?
It is at 3002 White Mountain Boulevard. It's in the old Hawkeye Feed Building.
Ah, yes.
And just in case, because the phone number is always something hard for people to find, it's 368-2248 to the Doghouse Thrift Shop.
And we'll have that information too at the end of the segment so people can write that number down in case they need to get a hold of you in the future.
That would be great.
Wonderful.
And we really, really are excited about the Happy Tails. On to that again. I mean, I'm so excited about Happy Tails.
We are.
Everyone, you know, we have people all the time calling us. We barely get done with one and they go, when's the next one? You know?
And that says so much, you know, people really enjoy it.
There's a lot of planning that goes on months ahead of time.
Oh, yes.
And we're collecting donations for it now. So everybody come and donate. Whatever you have, we will use. And I just think that support that we're getting right now is fantastic, but this is the #1 fundraiser for us. And people always say, when is it? We're going to enjoy it so much. They come from all over Arizona. They come from Scottsdale, Phoenix. I mean, they know that this is taking place. And so word's out, and we look forward to it so much.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
So is there any, is there an entry fee for people who want to come in?
No,
How does that work?
there is no charge to come in. You can get your bidder ticket with your raffle or with your barbecue ticket, which we have tickets for that now too. It's $18 in advance for the barbecue ticket or $20 at the gate.
Wonderful.
So, but there's no fee to just come in and look around and enjoy the day.
So regardless, you're going to have a beautiful time there at
Oh,
the
yes.
Orchard at Charlie Clark's. You're going to get some delicious barbecue, and you have this wide variety of all of these different prizes that you can either bid on, buy raffle tickets for,
Yeah.
and animals to be able to adopt as well.
Yes.
There's continuously a lot going on that whole day. I mean, you're not going to be bored when you walk through that gate. There's always something going on. And of course, the live auction is a huge hit also. So
Absolutely.
it's just such a fun day, and yet that's what we count on. So we're hoping for a great turnout again, and all the support we've been getting is terrific.
Awesome. Can you give us a quick little teaser of some of the cool items that you guys have coming up for the Happy
Well,
Tails auction?
I do know there's a pool table involved.
Wow.
And there is a 2-day or 2-night, however you want to look at it. Some people that have RVs that they take up in the woods, wherever you want to go.
Wow.
That's going to be there.
Amazing.
There is a ton of stuff, and we're actually going to start listing it on our Facebook, some of the things, so people can check us out on Facebook.
That's a really good way to keep involved with what you have going on,
Yes.
to be able to. Do you guys post any pictures of your animals that you have up for adoption?
Absolutely.
So people can tune in for not only possible future adoptions, but how to support you guys in
Right.
coming forward.
Right, and our Doghouse Thrift Shop also is doing Facebook, so
Wonderful.
see some of the great things going in there.
So much going on. Happy
is.
Tails coming up. You guys are going to be working on that new building with the reception area and the adoption area,
Yes.
working on expanding the buildings that you have right now
Right.
for the shelter. And then also, here we have your new dog store thrift shop where
know.
people can come in and help to support you guys,
Yes.
and donate as well.
Absolutely. Donations is what runs that place, you know. The donations, every penny spent in that store comes right back to the Humane Society.
That's everything.
And there's so many volunteers that make this happen. You know, very little staff, a lot of volunteers.
And we can always use more volunteers.
Yeah.
And what is your website for that? How can people get a hold of you?
www.hswm.org, and on there you can do all kinds of forms if you want to volunteer, if you want to adopt. You can see our adoptable animals. You can click over to our surgery clinic. You can click over to our Doghouse Thrift Store, also has a site there.
Wonderful.
So just
kind of the hub for everything.
it is.
Good deal.
It definitely is.
And everybody's always welcome to come and see what we're doing out there at the Humane Society. We've made a lot of changes. It's looking beautiful. We've got an overhead covered walkway now. So a lot of changes are taking place, and everybody's welcome to come and check us out and see what we're doing.
So yeah, drop by, ask questions, see how you can get involved and support.
Absolutely, absolutely. And under that covered walkway, we're selling pavers.
Oh,
So if anyone's interested in that.
very nice. So there's so many different ways people can
Oh, yeah.
support you guys
Absolutely.
and get involved.
Yes.
Awesome.
Absolutely. And what people need to remember, in all nonprofits, when you donate to something, it's a tax deduction.
Exactly. And
So-
that can be, something that really pushes it over that edge that makes
Absolutely.
them more inclined to give. Well, thank you guys so much for
Thank
coming and talking with
you.
us today. I'm excited for all these new things you have coming, and good luck to you guys. I
Thank
hope that the
you.
auction goes beautifully.
Thank you.
And thank you guys for joining us today. Be sure to tune in next month to hear Compassion Speak.
The White Mountain Safe House is a private nonprofit program dedicated to providing shelter, care, and advocacy for victims of domestic violence. If you or anyone you know is in need of services, please contact our 24-hour hotline at 928-367-6017. If you would like to support our organization in any way, please visit our website for more information at wmsafehouse.org.